Welcome back to another market closing live stream. Let's go ahead and take a look to see how stocks are shifting right before this big jobs report tomorrow. See if there are any particular strategies or opportunities, especially with options. Let's take a peek. So we do have a slight little bit of slip that we had at Cardano. I've been watching this closely. I'm still tempted to add to Cardano Ethereum, but I haven't been able to after the most recent run because I just hate buying after things run. I love buying the dip. So oftentimes I just end up convincing myself to keep cash for those big dips. We do have a firm running 1.61% here into the close, $98. We do have earnings coming up for a firm on the 9th, which is a week from today. That's next Thursday. Obviously, tomorrow we've got a big day. We've got the jobs report coming out. Jobs report will be out at 5:30 a.m., which is California time, 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. I will be up for it. I'll be very tired, but I'll be up for it. We've got a Matterport up 8.81% right now, up on news about a yacht partnership. Did send in a, I did make some trades today, specifically regarding some of these that are up here, but looking for new opportunities right now. We've got Metamaterial up 13%. Nice momentum swinger, although it's been up nicely the past few days here. I want to say, yeah, this has been a trend here. Look at this. You got a 8-day trend here as we've got about the risk on movement coming back. So a lot of SPACs, a lot of smaller caps starting to pop a little bit. DQ, this is the Chinese solar company moving a bit here. Tattooed Chef trying to make its way back to 24, dancing around our support line over here. Not uncommon to see this for Tattooed Chef. We got a support line sitting at 23.45. Let's go to the 1 minute here, give us a little bit of a better idea. You can see it bounced off of it initially this morning, but then shot past, and it's really been rubber banding up and down past it. You can kind of see it here. It's been trading along it, trade along over here, fell below, went above. So we got a little bit of volatility over here, right around the support line or resistance line, depending on which way you're looking at it. But Tattooed Chef, in my opinion, we mentioned this a bit this morning as well. Definitely a potential to get to this upper support level here, this 25.92 or so. And then I would expect it to probably relax again. But who knows? If we get this full-on September-October rally that we're expecting, we could see some big old new all-time highs. C3AI down 9.9 after earnings. Got my options out of there before earnings. Earnings scare me. These days, earnings are no fun. Wayfair is rotating down again. Wayfair does this thing where it's just constantly up to 300, down again. Up to 300, down again. It's pretty incredible. All right, let's see here. Okay, what else? We have Twitter 167, Salesforce 14, Dave & Buster's 123. Nothing too large over here in terms of movement. Amazon coming down about 0.2%. Fizz, Nordstrom. Nordstrom's still getting beat over here. Take a peek here. Yeah, look at Nordstrom still trending to the downside after those earnings here. Really lost its support shelf afterwards. So sitting in the last day here. Let me go to the hour chart. Yeah, even on the hour chart, we're down at lows again here on Nordstrom. Nordstrom sitting right around those end of November levels now. Definitely seeing that divergence again between recovery stocks and some of the other highly valued stocks like big tech or SPACs. Tesla down about 0.18%. Pinterest up 0.11%. Simon Prop Group up a little bit. Redfin up a tiny bit. Not a lot of big movers here, with the exception of over here, SPACs. SPAC World seems to be doing very well. Tattooed Chef, Matterport, both doing great today. Lucid coming back with a 4.72. Canoe coming back with a 4.27. Neo coming back with a 3.61. Seems like any dip we're getting just lasts about a day, and then it comes back, which is interesting. It's something to keep in mind when you're playing trades. Doesn't, in my opinion, make sense to stick in a trade for too long these days. I've personally been doing like 24-hour swing trades with options. Yeah, in terms of holding too long, that momentum, so I almost feel like it's kind of like all the stocks are sitting on top of like the ocean, And then here comes a wave of momentum, and it's like, okay, now it's this stock, and now it's this stock, and now it's this stock, and now it's this one, but it's not the other one yet until, a while, until the next wave comes. It's kind of interesting. Yeah, remember, folks, you can get yourself an espresso blend, very strong, and it is an espresso blend, but we do have 1337 coffee, comes in this beautiful bag, which feels really, really nice to touch. It's like very soft and like, I don't know, when you get the bag, you'll know what I mean. RuneScape inspired, 1337 branded here. You can get this by going to mettkevin.com/coffee. It is the Graham Stephan Bankroll coffee brand, labeled 1337, which is pronounced Leet coffee. In fact, I even got the mug right here. So there you go. That's awesome. Thank you for that. Yeah, proceeds of each bag do go to support the campaign. So awesome. Thank you for that. All right. That really soft bag. Yeah. Now, see, I was literally holding a bag there. What's up with that? We don't like holding bags around here. You know what? We should just put Tesla on this, and then I would be holding a Tesla bag. That would make sense. Oh, one day it'll go back to 900. One day. 5 years later. One day it'll go to 900. All right. So let's see what we got going on in terms of news today. Let's see here. Let's pop on up Bloomberg. Go through the news. So we know Biden and them, they're trying to respond to the Texas abortion law. I did make a video on the Texas abortion law. I did not take a side on abortion in that video. I just did talk about the mechanics of the law, which are pretty loony if you haven't heard of them yet. It's worth watching some of the mechanics of that law, how that law is going to be enforced. All right, let's look at their little preview here on the jobs report. All right, let's see what we got here. All right, Bloomberg's going to give us a preview on the jobs report. Jobs report will show Delta's impact on the U.S. as Fed weighs the taper. Ooh, weighs the taper. Remember, the Wall Street Journal is expecting the taper not to happen until the November meeting. The next FOMC meeting, you should have this written down, is September 22nd. You've got inflation numbers coming out on September 14th, which is in about less than 2 weeks now. It's Tuesday in 2 weeks. And then we have the jobs report coming out tomorrow at 5:30 a.m. So investors will be watching Friday's jobs report for the latest read on the health of the labor market. The U.S. probably added 725,000 jobs in August, a more moderate pace compared to each of the prior 2 months, but stronger than the gains seen earlier this year, according to median forecasts of economists surveyed by Bloomberg. That's interesting. I'm actually surprised by that. I was really expecting the expectations to be in the 900,000 range, which in some sense, if the market is expecting it to be lower and then we get that million job beat or something, the market, I think, is going to see a little bit of pain, especially in the higher valuation companies. Strong report would signal that businesses are having more success hiring after months of limited supply. Worth noting, by the way, I read a jobs report this morning that mentioned 50% of all businesses are hiring right now. I'm like, what? Every other business is hiring right now? That's crazy. But risks related to Delta variant could mean a softer than expected payrolls data release, complicating the Fed's timeline for tapering. The softening in employment activity would be consistent with other economic data that have weakened since the surge of COVID case counts due to Delta. Yeah, and then this makes sense. And there's even talk about Mu now, the next variant, right? Dr. Fauci, for those of you who care what he says, because I know his name is very politicized. For those of you who care what he says that by no means is the Mu variant anywhere near the dominant variant right now. We're still very well dominant on Delta. I suppose it's worth mentioning COVID cases. Let's go ahead and pull them up. We didn't do that this morning. So let's go to the United States. Yeah, we're still growing. Easiest to do is go jump on over here at, ooh, yeah, look at that. This is the 30-day chart. You can see the beginning of each week and the end of each 5-day period tend to have the largest spikes. And we're really beating here. It looks like 199 to 195. We had a little bit of a softening here on the Saturday number report here. But so far, this week looks a little bit more aggressive than all of the 4 weeks here prior. So still relatively flat on COVID growth, but still looking like it's growing in terms of COVID cases. Again, the majority of these expected to be Delta. Our jobs forecast if realized, is likely to be soft enough to leave the Fed wanting to monitor additional data before tapering. And that's the big thing, is Wall Street Journal is already expecting we're not going to see the taper until November. I think if we don't see the taper until November, honestly, we have literally paved the way for the September and October rally. So I'm very interested to see what happens with the jobs report tomorrow. I think if you wanted to play options on this jobs report, which I think is literally just playing Russian roulette, which, don't get me wrong, playing Russian roulette is really fun, especially when you're winning. You could probably place bets on high valuation companies and either buy puts or buy calls on them. Those are options. So the report will likely give an indication of whether Americans are looking for jobs. More than half of states ended. Oh, this was interesting, by the way, and they didn't mention it here, but there was a report yesterday that showed states that ended the unemployment boost, that extra $300, states that ended that early saw their unemployment, or rather their employment, increase by 1.33%. So keep that number in mind. They ended unemployment early. They saw a boost of 1.33% in employment. States that did not end the employment boost early saw their employment go up by 1.37%. So statistically, there was no difference to actually ending unemployment early to getting more people back to work. That was crazy when I read that, because that was the opposite of what I expected. So Russian roulette or regular roulette? Well, okay, yeah. Anyway, so let's see here. Here's what Bloomberg Economics is forecasting for the jobs report. A gain of 725,000, matching the consensus. The range forecast from 400,000. See, this is crazy, is the market doesn't understand what in terms of, what's it called? There's no real consensus, in my opinion. I wish we had more consensus, but with the ranges being all over the place, it's possible that whatever happens ends up being a little bit muted. Then we've got expect school-related hiring to be a notable contributor. That's interesting, and this makes sense. School-related hiring, teachers and that. So then we've got a decline in the unemployment rate of 5.2 from 5.4, also matching consensus. This is the expectation, to see the unemployment rate go down to 5.2%. 0.5% gain in average hourly earnings from the prior month, and 4.9. Okay. So and this is interesting to me. They're expecting a 0.5% gain in average hourly earnings. Last month, we were only at 0.2%. This matters for inflationary purposes, because if you have 0.5%, you multiply that by 12, that's 6% inflation, wage inflation, right? Last month, we only had an increase in earnings by 0.2%, which would be about a 2.4% increase in wage-related inflation, which is obviously a little bit more controlled. So the expectations here, in my opinion, a little all over the place, but overall, slower growth than I originally anticipated. I was thinking we're going to, without a doubt, expect somewhere between 900,000 to 1 million jobs. And that's going to be a big deal. So we'll see what happens. My guess is if we came in with something ridiculous, like imagine, this is something to consider, okay? Just so you could be prepared for this with your portfolio. Imagine we come in with something like 1.5 million, something that's just way out of the expectations on both ends. Probably expect to see higher valuation stocks have a little bit of a beating, a little bit of hurt. You come in with something like 200,000 jobs, something really, really weak because people are fearful of Delta or whatever. That actually, ironically, could be very, very good for the high valuation stocks, because even though that's bad for the economy, it's good for not seeing the taper coming yet. So interesting. Yeah, interesting comment here also where Lulu says, COVID taught me to save up to 60 to 70% of my income. That's actually great, especially if you're investing that money, which I'm assuming you're doing if you're here. That's what one of the things we said early in the pandemic was, I think we are going to get into a frugal decade where people just save and invest more. Very, very fascinating to see how it all plays out. Okay, good. That gives us an update on jobs. Remember to go to metkevin.com/coffee to get yourself some bankroll coffee. There's the 1337 version that is an espresso and a strong blend, and it's real good. It'll keep you real awake. All right, moving on. So let's see here. All right. Effect on crypto from jobs, I think, is a little harder to evaluate. Personal savings rates at all-time highs. Exactly. Why you say September 4th, bro? I think I said September 3rd. September 3rd is tomorrow for the jobs data. 14th is maybe what you heard for CPI. Yeah, and if I accidentally said Russian roulette, I definitely didn't mean to say Russian roulette. Yeah, just roulette. All right. So, although I guess what I said would be true anyway. It's more fun when you're winning. Oh, God. All right. So what do we got here? Weed Maps just came out of nowhere here. 8.27%. ChargePoint did very well here. Not as high as it was earlier in pre-market. We have Matterport up 8.5%. Upstart, Lucid coming back. More gains here into the close. We're actually seeing these higher valuation plays gain into the close as they walk into the close here. Pretty incredible. Let's look at the flip side here. C3A Poshmark rotating to the downside yet again. Let's take a look here. Poshmark. Yeah, Poshmark has been on a pretty incredible trend straight to the bottom. BlackBerry down 3.9. Purple Innovations at 24. Yikes. Cardano 297. All right, let's go ahead and listen to CNBC for a moment. See what we got here
in the jobs market. And that's why I think you actually have a little bit of a rotation into value today versus growth. To Mike's point, let's see if it lasts, right? Because growth really has taken over. But I am encouraged that the data is getting better. By the way, the other thing I'm watching is this M&A. We had two deals today, Quanta Services, and we had Baxter. And I think that's very positive. We've had $3.6 trillion in M&A globally year to date. That's better than all of last year's $3.59 trillion. That's a sign of CEO.
It's a sign that everybody's got money.
Positive signal in my mind.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a key point, especially given the fact that you do have an FTC that seems to be very outspoken. Hawkish is probably the word I might use in terms of some of the deal making we're seeing. So it's something to watch very closely. You just mentioned commodities, energy sector, massively outperforming today. It's on the back of a jump in oil prices. Crude oil inventories fell this week. That was caused in part by outages from Hurricane Ida in the Gulf of Mexico. Meantime, OPEC and its allies believe demand for oil will only increase, and that group.
What is this? And this is a little out of left field here, but a QAnon, I just saw this alert come across. A QAnon supporter who chased Officer Eugene Goodman near the Senate chamber during the Capitol insurrection was sent back to jail, in part because he violated the rules of his release by going online to access conspiracy theories about the 2020 election. I feel like if you're let out of jail and they're like, don't Google anything about election fraud, you wouldn't do that. Also seems a little weird that they caught him Googling stuff online. Give me one sec. One sec. Yes. Okay. Here we go. All right, let's keep moving on. So, alrighty. Let's go back to sticks and news here. Yeah. Well, it was. I think it was illegal for the person to look that up online because they probably agreed to some kind of contract saying they wouldn't look certain things up online, or maybe talk about it, or I don't know. Who knows? Maybe they just went straight to Twitter and started sharing theories again. Who knows? Anyway, Tattooed Chef is doing great going into the close here. Very well. Almost at $24 here. It's a nice rally into the close. I've done some swing trading on TTCF. Twice have I taken Tattooed Chef from once from 16 to 24. Once from it was like 16.50 to 20, something like that. But yeah, this is nice. This is a good little pump you're getting here at the end. Very cool. I don't think it's going to last. I think you've got a momentum in here. But I would love to see this run up to like $30 so I could short it. I'm not going to short it here because it's played these areas before. Same thing with Matterport. I mean, Matterport's moving on news. I'm very happy for Matterport because at least Matterport's a real company with a really good product. But yeah, let's see. ChargePoint. It's just all newer companies here doing great. Yeah. Wow. Look at that. And look at this ChargePoint SPAC. Look at that. SPAC Matterport, SPAC ChargePoint, SPAC Proterra, SPAC Tattooed Chef. I don't know if Desktop Metal was a SPAC. Oh, it was. It's SPAC day. Look at that. SPAC, 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 SPAC. On this top list here, at least 50% of the stocks that are here are SPACs. Pretty incredible. Yeah. SPAC moving day. Which makes sense. I mean, a couple weeks ago, we were saying it's just going to be a matter of time until we have SPACs running again. That's why I also took some profits on a certain SPAC today. Still waiting, though, for crypto. I don't know. It's also so expensive at these prices. All-time highs. I mean, what's the difference? It's like 10 cents apart. Let's see. Okay, let's now get to... that's terrible. There's a report now that just came through of a 9-month-old girl on a plane carrying Afghan evacuees died yesterday after arriving at the Philly airport with her dad. First known evacuee death on U.S. soil. It's horrible. That's crazy. All right, let's get back. You doubled your workhorse position today? Workhorse and takeoff? I like how takeoff is like, it's like trying to encourage your rocket to take off. Oh, it's a drone company. Oh, it's a drone penny stock. Okay, and then workhorse. I mean, the day to have doubled them was right after that SEC announcement. But then again, we're still pretty much in the toilet from there. So, I mean, you pretty much did. All right. Let's see here. Powell for Speaker of the House. Oh, no. I don't think Jerome Powell would ever want to take Nancy Pelosi's job. Posh falling into the close? Could you imagine that? Jerome Powell as Speaker of the House? You get Kevin McCarthy. We need to bring Congress back to work right now. Jerome Powell. Not my job. That's priceless. Ay. All right. Let's see if there's any leftover news. We got market close coming up shortly. Let's also see what's let's see here. Calendar. If we got any earnings today. Earnings, Cal. Airbnb, ServiceNow, and Zillow. Halftime report. Earnings up. Okay, latest news. Fauci on the Mu variant. Friday's job report. Delta downside. Okay. FinTech wars are heating up. How to play it. Elizabeth Holmes faces jury of 7 men and 5 women. Labor Day travel is dangerous now. 4 ways to do it. Elon Musk declines to address Texas abortion law after governor's comments. Oh, Docusign reports today, and so does Hewlett-Packard. Oh, HP, Docusign. Oh, that's interesting. Definitely going to want to see Docusign. Docusign's a great company. Not my job. Yeah. All right. Walmart hikes pay. This has just been like the most unnewsy like 2 weeks ever. It's just everything's just going up a little bit, going up a little bit, going up a little bit. Quiet. Well, you can always at least get a free stock with Public by going to metkevin.com/public. Get free stock worth all the way up to $70, and they won't buy or sell your information. God, Coffee. Yeah, oh, HP reported last week. Oh, sorry. You're right. It's Hewlett Packard Enterprises. That's a different company. So just Docusign today. Just Docusign. The threat from the illiberal left. What's the illiberal left? Has anybody ever heard of that? Is this a cartoon? Don't underestimate the danger of left-leaning identity politics. Something has gone very wrong with American liberalism, Western liberalism. This is interesting. Okay. I don't know if this is going to be stock related, and I actually can bet it's not going to, but that would be worth exploring later. So we'll come back to that. All right, let's try Barron's. Oh, any what's it called? Gas prices may keep rising after labor delay blame Ida. I'm curious. Are there any option plays to do? Is it worth shorting Meta Materials yet? I mean, shorting a meme stock or momentum stock sounds like a very horrible idea. So probably not. Do you want to sell puts on C3AI? Not really. Don't really want to do that. Poshmark, not either. Restoration Hardware is getting beat up. Yeah, the companies I would want to own are just not down. Trade Desk has gone down a little bit, but barely. Yeah, look at that. If anything, it's just like slowed down. Sell puts on Baba. Are they valuable right now? Let's see. Let's see what you can do. So Baba, what's it trading for right now? Baba's trading for 171. And if we just hopped in here at a, I don't know, 172.5, sell put, you're not really going to get much here. 420. Yeah. I mean, the volatility just isn't high enough. You're probably, honestly, at these prices, better off just buying a call. But, you know, you could also just bleed out on that. See, if I bought a 170 call, slightly in the money, bought it $9,400. Yeah, but then again, that's a drop in the bucket relative to how much Baba's just gotten destroyed. Let's see here. This is the day chart for Baba. Yeah, $4 or $5 in one direction. That doesn't matter at all. So how about market close? We have that in 1 minute. And then 5 minutes thereafter, we have Docusign reporting. We have Treasury yields down at 1.28%. That is the most bizarre market ever. Going into the jobs report. Oh my gosh. People are buying treasuries, which means, oh my gosh. It just essentially implies that they're not expecting an overheat. Because if the market was expecting a big explosion in jobs, probably would see treasury yields go up today. So the market's not really expecting an overheat tomorrow, which means if we get an overheat, it could be worse. Ugh. Let's see. How's SoFi? SoFi has just been trading around that. Yeah, back above 15. See, this 1480 line's pretty big. We rarely dance under it. We'll see how that goes. All right, let's get the closing bell.
Dow still continues to be some way from its own record highs, but is up a third of 1% today. Energy is the best performing sector, up 2.5%, followed by healthcare. Those are the only two sectors up more than 1%, but only three sectors negative today: consumer discretionary, tech, and communication services, and only slightly negative as well. The 10-year still hovering around about 1.3% as we go to the close, just below that level. The dollar's a little soft. Oil's up about 1.6% at the close. Two record highs for the S&P and the Nasdaq. The Dow not quite at one, but in fact the best performer today up a third of 1%. Slight gains across the board more.
All right.
Thank you, Wilfred. Well, welcome to the Closing Bell. I'm Morgan Brennan in for Sarah Eisen, along with Wilfred Frost and Mike Santoli, CNBC senior markets commentator. As stocks settle here into the close, just getting a read on the major averages, all finishing the day for the most part higher. You just heard it from Wilf. We've got new closing highs for both the S&P and the NASDAQ composite. The S&P finishing the day right around 45.36, up about 0.3%. The NASDAQ composite also finishing up about 0.1%. The Dow finishing the day up 131 points as well. And the outperformer was really those small caps. The Russell 2000, which finished the day up about 0.2%. The NASDAQ 100, though, those big cap tech names leading the NDX, finishing the day essentially flat as all eyes now turn, or many eyes now turn, to the jobs reports tomorrow. Pretty narrow trading range here today. Coming up, FundStrat's Tom Lee outlines.
All right, we're gonna pull off this here. Feltima, can you have more details of where you're getting that SEC update or the judicial update on Ripple? Happy to look into that. All right, yeah, Broadcom, HP Enterprise and Docusign. I mostly care about Docusign. So let's see here. Okay, how did things close up? Metamaterials, HUD 8, great job. Matterport, ChargePoint, lots of SPACs did phenomenally today. Really, really, really good job on the SPACs today. Just 10D printers today. Very incredible. We've got Build-A-Bear, 3.84% to the downside, but still at $18. I mean, from where it was, very, very incredible. Let's see here. Cardano still dancing around 296. I'm going to get the terminal up here in a second so we can get earnings on Docusign. That's, to me, Docusign is going to be a little bit of a tell for how long this stay-at-home business is going to stay. I mean, think about it. Docusign, first of all, is a company that I used exclusively as an agent for the last 10 years. I love Docusign. We Docusign everything. I had templates, still have templates for all my contracts, rental property contracts. I mean, it is so easy to get Docusign signatures from folks. And so they've gotten really good. That company is a winner. But I wonder how much stay-at-home expectations have come to wear on or to maybe build up the stock. It recently just ran up from under $200, which I've said on this channel many times that I thought under $200 was a bargain, to $300, approximately where it sits now. And you could really see that right here as we were in the later parts of May and saw Docusign really start running, exploded on earnings here. Last time it exploded on earnings, which really gave this incredible momentum. Are we going to get that kind of momentum again? I don't have Hippo on my radar. No, but we can throw it on there. Hippo Holdings. Oh yeah, the lockups definitely give that one a beat. So open it. Twitter, Ripples, yeah. Okay, good. So I'm gonna pull up Docusign earnings now. I am excited for Docusign. This is a big one. IMO. I think it's also going to be a tell for Zoom, Dropbox, a lot of companies. All right. So options are implying an 8.8% move on Docusign. Let's also see if I can get some estimates before they come out. We got about 30 seconds before they're expected. Still not out. Docusign. Options average. Okay, yeah. Average expectation is as high as a 10%. We've got 17 analysts at buy, 2 at hold, 1 sell. Most price targets pretty much right where it is. It tends to beat on EPS 7 out of 8 times. On revenue, it's beat 8 out of 8 times. So last 8 times, it's just beat. I don't know what the current expectations are for. I'm trying to get that right now. Here we go. EPS for Q2 2022. Is that what's coming out? Q2 2022? Why do they have such weird calendars? That's what it says. Current period. Yeah, prior period was Q1 22. All right, here we go. They are out. So they came in at billings of 595 versus 554. So billings came in higher. EPS comes in at a beat, 47 versus 39. That's a good beat. That's a double beat. That's a beat on EPS. That's a beat on revenue. Not a surprise. Sorry, billings is different from revenue. Revenue came in at 511.8 versus the estimate of 485. So that's a beat on revenue, beat on billings, beat on EPS. And they see Q3 revenue of 526 to 532 million. That is a little higher than where we are now. That's a nice beat. Docusign killing it again. So wouldn't be surprised to see a nice move. But no, it's actually going down. Yeah, wow. This is the stupidity of the stock market, I tell you. Yeah, that is a very nice beat here. I mean, not sure why it'd be going down, but again, that's why I don't play earnings, because there's no common sense to it. But yeah, again, revenue, good beat here. 511 on top of 485 works out to about a 5.3% beat. EPS coming in at 47 versus 39 is about a 20% beat. Very nice. The estimate, yeah, exactly. Okay, we already read that. Got it. Someone says they'll buy Docusign tomorrow. Yeah, exactly. If it's down more, hey, you know what? If it goes back down under 200, I will load the boat with Docusign, and it's falling. I love it. I mean, more opportunities to buy really high quality stocks. I mean, that's what's happening is, in my opinion, like literally what you want. You want high quality companies to just plummet afterwards. And then because the great company's doing great. But where's it? Yeah, Docusign. I mean, they're not even plummeting that much. They're down like 1.3%. So it's not that big of a deal. Build-A-Bear, though, for some reason is showing us down 6.7%. So I'm a little surprised by that. Let's see what's going on. Did they report? Build-A-Bear. Although I do think Build-A-Bear kind of momentumed its way up. Yeah, 200 is not like, it doesn't make it a non-growth company, right? But I think it's a much better deal. So Build-A-Bear. No, there's no report on Build-A-Bear. Just Docusign here. Okay, let's see here. Okay. All right. So yeah, Docusign now down about 1.2%. Kind of stabilizing around there. That's not that horrible. Just the initial profit taking, maybe. Maybe that's all we got here. But still kind of a shocker here. Very bizarre. Yeah, you're definitely getting that flip-flop.
Docusign numbers are out. Seema Modi has the numbers for us.
We already covered this.
Hi, Morgan. A nice beat from Docusign, 47 cents versus the analyst estimate of 40 cents. So we're looking at a 7-cent beat on its bottom line. Revenue also coming in higher than what Wall Street analysts were predicting at $511.8 million.
And of course, it's down. But anyway, so also worth taking a look at Barron's here. All right, let's see. All right. What, somebody says Bitcoin? What's Bitcoin doing? Is it plummeting? Please. Opportunity to buy. No. It's going up. It just literally shot up in the last 2 minutes. $300. Yep, you can't wait on crypto. It's the downside of crypto. It's no patience. All right, where were we? Friday's job report stands to be pivotal. Oh, I screwed that one up. Pivotal for taper timing. Here's what to watch. So let's see here. We talked about this a little bit earlier, right along mentioning that you should get your coffee from Bankroll Coffee by going to mettkevin.com/coffee. Get that 1337 edition if you want some very nice espresso roast. Anyway, the August jobs report could be pivotal for the Federal Reserve. We already know that. Blah, blah, blah. Here's what to watch. Economists' estimates are all over the map, though most are somewhere between 600 and 850,000. FactSet says 750 is the core, is the median estimate. Risk is to the downside if he sees a sharper than slower slowdown in payroll growth due to the clear delta-driven wobble. Near-term indicators of consumer spending on discretionary services, including restaurants, diners, airline passenger numbers, blah, 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 which are already going down. Okay, he's okay. He's seeing these risks already in the near real-time indicators. Oh yeah, we talked about that the other day too. The mobility data for, well, certainly TSA check-ins, mobility data at outdoor malls. You're seeing a slowdown. Delta has driven hospitalizations back to winter peaks. Wonder how are we with COVID hospitalizations right now? Let's see. Yeah, I mean, I can't tell you what to do on TKS. I don't even know what it is, unfortunately. All right, so can we get hospitalizations, COVID data tracking? Cases, deaths. I usually don't look at hospitalizations that much, but here we go. County viewer. Oh, their website's freezing. All right, this is community transmission. I would love to see hospital utilization. Here we go. Oh, you could click view time lapse. That's cool. Because then you could see a change over time, but their website is so clunky it just freezes. Oh, there we go. New admissions. That doesn't give me a date though. Oh, here it is. Okay, time period. August 26th to September 1st. Yeah, definitely those. I wish it would show me the change over time on this. Oh well. I'll do some more research on that. But anyway, going back to Barron's here. Reddit is looking to go public via IPO. Oh my gosh. Shepardson predicts a payrolls gain of 400,000, but says there is a substantial margin of error. Yeah. How do you make an estimate? Like, how do you make an estimate of 400,000 and then say plus or minus 300K? What? Okay. All right. Well, let's see here. Government hiring uncertainty, professional services, padding payrolls. May provide a boost. Deep pockets, cheap debt, fear of rising taxes promoted a tidal wave of deal activity for medium and large-sized firms. Falling unemployment, get it down to 5.2%. Yep. All right. Pretty expected. Okay. Anything else? What else is going on in this market? Look at Meta Materials going again. Could you imagine having shorted it right before the close? It's already up 7% in after hours. Just pure momentum. Keep that in mind. Just keep it in mind. Docusign down 1.67. Not as much as Build-A-Bear. Docusign, not Docusign, Bitcoin 49.6. Trying to get back over that 50K. Yeah, that about does it. It's incredible. Yeah, it's a roundabout way of saying it's no idea. Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, that's true. All right, folks. I'm going to take off. Got some interviews to go do. Got some more videos to put out. Some work to do. And there's not much else news to report here. So get your free stock with Public by going to metcalvin.com/public. You have free stock worth all the way up to $70. And folks, we'll see you in the next